Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is yet again, I'm proud to introduce SpyParty Competitive League Season 8. We are nearing the end of it. Today we'll have two semifinals of the SCL8 regular championship. And to help it break it down, I have employed the two beautiful casters, Slappy Davis and Dells. Take it away, gentlemen.
Oh. So today the first match we're going to be seeing is between gENTleman and Beanie in the regular circuit postseason championship. And then later we have C-Rams versus Hypixer. So gENTleman versus Beanie, these should be two very, very evenly matched players. They were both in gold division during the regular season, and they both ended the season with the same exact record. They both won 4 games, lost 1 game, and tied 1 game. So gENTleman ended up being first place in gold, and Beanie was third place in gold. C-Rams, who you might remember from the other week, who we watched play an 80-game set, also had the same exact scoreline in gold and was between them. So it was just a really, really close division. And even though gENTleman ended up the top seed in the championship here, Beanie was really, really close to being right behind him.
Yeah, and Beanie's just been around for such a long time and just like has broken through in a couple of occasions and then just every once in a while just pops off against super good opponents. So this is going to be interesting where I, on the larger scope of things, I consider Gent to be a little bit more consistent than Beanie. But Beanie also had just been like showing up in these recent tournaments, so I'm very curious to see how that part works out because I do love seeing just someone who's just like ground out tournaments for I don't know. Beanie's been around for like 7 years or something like that, still doing well.
Yeah, and so the only person that Beanie had a loss to was C-Rams during the regular season. The only person that gENTleman lost to was Hunu, and then these two tied each other. So it's safe to say we're probably going to be in for a very close match this week. Last week, gENTleman, as the highest seed, chose to play against Calumet. He won that 10-3. Beanie is the third seed, didn't have as much of a pick about their opponent, but played against Magic Doer and won 10-6. So gENTleman, I guess, coming in slightly with the higher shot here, but it really could go either way.
And I do think that that's a great way to frame it. Where I think gENTleman is coming in with more momentum off of their win, but I think that Beanie is coming into better practice versus Magic Doer because I think Magic Doer will be a better setup for Beanie versus gENTleman than Calumet was a setup for Beanie. So maybe something like that will come into play, but that's really fascinating here.
Yeah, and so looking at the draft now, it's actually very similar to when they played each other during the regular season. The bans are exactly the same. gENTleman always banning ballroom, Beanie always banning library. The last time they played, we saw modern, courtyard, gallery, aquarium, and we're basically seeing a lot of the same picks. Well, we're seeing the modern and the gallery return at least, and courtyard.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to see. So, what I'm going to be surprised, or sorry, what I'm really interested to see is um, how both these players play on smaller maps. I feel like I have a decent read on how they play some of the larger ones, but I think that Pub and High Rise, and to a certain extent, Redwoods, are going to be really fascinating to see if they can get a read on each other on what their tendencies are, because I wouldn't know what their tendencies would be on those ones. So not only those good opportunities for spies to pick up wins just because they're a little bit trickier for snipers, they're also going to be a spot where I think it's going to be harder for the snipers to have prepped for. So very curious to see how that plays out as well.
Yeah, but we're starting off with Pub, which is maybe one of the more volatile ones. It's not really like any other venue that we're seeing here. And so the set could just immediately start with one player getting a lead here. And I have no idea which player that would be.
Absolutely,
Uh,
yeah.
So we have gentleman who will be spying first, playing as Tex. Let's get started with it in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And like you said, very volatile. And then also, you won't have a good read on your opponent by the time that you played it. We have a really nice little green flirt here. So pretty quick redirect at the beginning. Sometimes snipers might catch those redirects, where there's like an obvious take control and redirect into a flirt position. But because the beginning of pub has just so many redirects at the door anyways, we probably are going to get away with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of redirects around the door. There aren't really as many redirects around the window pad, right? Like nothing caused us to redirect too much. Even when we were walking through the door, there was no one to bump into. So we just turned around for that flirt. We've picked up a highlight now, but it's not known if it's for the flirt or anything like that. There's a chance it was caught, but there's a chance that we're just highlight for going to the bar right now and we're not particularly a suspect in any way.
Well, we're going to put that theory to the test pretty quick here because we're in a conversation circle. Oh, but I'm curious if Disney's going to get a low light here because Disney was actually outside of the conversation at the moment of the BB, but we might have second guessed ourselves and believed that there was a split there. So, really curious if a purloin will come off here. Are we framing? No, we're not. We are not framing here. I was curious if we're going to do as if Rocker, I think, had sent us, but we opt not to. Interesting here, if Disney did get suspicion for that bail, Disney went back to like the exact same position in that conversation circle. So, our seduction target bails on us and wraps around Ambassador. So there might be something there. Once again, we are gonna get a bug. Let's see, and we're gonna. Ooh, why did we pick up that briefcase?
I don't know, trying to dodge the bullet, maybe, if we thought the bug was suspected. Maybe an accident? I don't know.
I feel like it had to have been an accident, but what was the accident? So, what would we be setting our, there's nothing else for us to, okay, so we got this bug, and that bug was intentional. It wasn't maybe we didn't notice the purloin expired. Maybe that's it. Because I'm trying to think of like why would we be scrolling through our actions to select something else? If we didn't think that our delegate was there, we might have been trying to do a quick delegate, or just like set it up. But that doesn't make sense because we still pick up. I have no idea what that pickup is. That's such a strange move.
I don't know. Maybe we were just
trying
to sip our drink. I mean, picking up the briefcase is a left click, so is sipping your drink, right? So maybe we were just trying to move our arm to take a sip so that if the sniper thought they saw our arm move for the bug, they think it was just sipping a drink. I'm not sure, but I don't know. Doesn't work out either way. And Beanie takes the first point. Beanie gets to spy now, playing as Alice, also known as Ponytail, in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Oh God, we immediately just take control. We started at the bar and we're like, we're just going to try to get this delegate offer before the sniper even notices that we were here. And we were like kind of behind the pillar of the doorway. So like there is a chance that if the sniper was watching other things, they might not notice that you picked up that delegate. Oh wait, no, you picked up the list. You just took the entire list.
Yeah, no, it was in such a, and there's going to be immediate contact. So, I mean, this is such a gambit, obviously, right? Because Ambassador, I don't remember how much trouble Ambassador was in. But also, snipers don't usually check on list; they just check on who is at bar, right? If no, there's just gonna be a shot. There's gonna be a shot on Salmon because Salmon ditched out from our conversation circle after the banana bread, has a drink in hand. Right as they were ditching out, right? They had just finished their drink, walked away, and then went to statue. Like legitimately, that's not a terrible shot. I mean, obviously, it's terrible to have missed the purloin altogether, but the fact that there's a mission count, there's actually legitimately 3 missions on Jackson and a reasonable sip and split to statues makes sense. That is not a terrible shot. We just needed to know who was actually at bar because I think that was just a starting drink for him.
Yeah, I mean, the spy was rushing. The spy did try to rush missions and get them done really quickly. Of course, Beanie was just going to wait out for the flirt, but the spy was someone who purloined really quickly, and so they might just go for a statue finish. So yeah, it's an understandable shot, but it looks like the immediate purloin worked. I mean, it even worked on me. I thought it was just going to be a delegate. They just took the list and then just got such a lucky contact. Really well done. Okay, well, Beanie is the one who has the lead already, 2-0, and I feel like we've just been here for not even like 2 minutes. These games have just gone by so quick so far. We're moving on to Gallery. gENTleman going to be spying as General in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
And what I wanted to say that last game, but just there's so much action, is I think you're right about the sip, because that's the only thing that makes sense with a left click on the 2 games ago. But that game was just so quick that I didn't get a chance to revisit that. We have an immediate green timeout at Windows at the beginning here. Ambassador was under a little bit of pressure, so I doubt that will be seen. And I also kind of doubt that it'll even really be looked at. So that's probably going to end up just being entirely free. We get a nice green across the statues for basically the best cross statue flirt that you can get at 25%. If we just keep hitting greens, it might not matter so much. But of course, as we always talk about, having a little bit of flexibility on Gallery with flirt is really nice, because it's actually one of the venues that people can do pairing on if you're constantly chasing them around. So having just a little bit of percentage there is gonna be nice. Are we gonna even go into that conversation? We are, because we felt like we were obligated to.
Yeah, but we didn't want to. Oh my God, we actually almost picked up a low light for it, but then Beanie rethunk it. That's kind of sad though. It's like literally we wanted that convo to flirt with Salmon. And then as soon as we get there, a spot opens up. Yeah, because Salmon left. But either way, I think this game's going decently so far. I think because we got the time ad, we don't mind being a highlight for statues, because 45 seconds just gives more time for more people to go to statues and pick up highlights as well. Finishing the statues this early, though, that's definitely going to bring a lot of attention to us. And since Beanie already sort of noticed us with that convo entry outside, I think Beanie might pay a lot of attention to General for the rest of the game.
Absolutely. And we're also kind of trailing behind. Ooh, are we obligated for this briefcase? I don't think we know. I think we're trying to grab this brief. It doesn't matter. We won't be able to get the second briefcase. I was going to see if we're going to try to do 2 fingerprints off of 2 difficult fingerprints off of the books and then the briefcase. But looks like Wheels grabbed that too quickly for us. I think we're just showing here that we are not doing microfilm because the hand would be very visible. A little bit of a... It looks like there's a little bit of a reading animation break in there, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that, but I think there was a very slight animation break that generals are kind of tough. Where if you're starting to go into your flip animation, it'll actually be your whole body posture changes. But it doesn't really matter, not seen, and we seem to be doing okay. The other possibility I want to mention in here real quick is that Jackson did already pick up 1 inspect, is our seduction target, and does seem to be being tracked a bit because they took the spot of Ambassador out of the bookcase, and doesn't matter anymore because he's gonna get knocked out. So never mind.
Yeah, oh God, that contact has just let off so many lowlights, and we're the top suspect already. We're going to a statue now. We can't. Can we finish here? If we get a fingerprint and we swap the statue, we can finish. Does Beanie know that we can finish with that if we block the statue? Yes, Beanie just takes the shot immediately.
Yeah, a compelling case for a swap there. It wasn't going to work anyways because I think Beanie was either on top of the swap possibility or just fingerprint. But I wouldn't have minded just because it's classic general swap and block. So not a terrible game, just a good heads up shot.
Yeah, I mean, if we had the flirt done, that's when we could have been finished missions with or without a swap. So you just need to shoot immediately within 10 seconds of them getting the fingerprint. But yeah, it's sort of unfortunate that stop outside maybe made us look like an AI for a little bit, but it just brought Beanie's attention to us and just made it really noticeable when we finished the inspects later. And then everything was just adding up for General being the spy. We just got too much suspicion too early, unfortunately. So Beanie is 3-0 right now, but Beanie could lose their first point here now that we're on Gallery. gENTleman can very easily pick up a sniper win. Let's see if it happens in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
And I expect Beanie to be very aggressive here because we're playing it with a bit of house money from picking up the sweep on. Oh, here we go. We got a bug. It does not take. Very important there because I do not think that gentleman was watching the cane side bug closely enough to have guarded it. So if that bug had taken, I think that Beanie was going to be pedal to the floor, just like drawing out the flirts, inspects, and then an early contact, and then giving us no opportunity for anything else. So I expect he's going to try again because I think he's fully in here with Kane on gallery, intending to mix stuff up and be aggressive.
He's actually requesting Toby over for a drink here to get a fingerprint. Unfortunately, we fail with it. The ambassador is in a very similar position. Are we going to try to force the bug again? I don't think there's enough cover for it. We're just going to stand there. We could not possibly have bugged the Amba. Unfortunately, now we're really behind on pacing. We didn't get that fingerprint. It's like we started to walk outside and then maybe we remembered it is illegal to walk outside with a drink on gallery, so we stopped and we're finishing the drink before we go outside. I mean, just the other week, we saw so many spies go outside with a drink. We called a lot of attention to it, I remember. So maybe that's what Beanie was thinking.
Yeah, and the other thing with so there's characters with asymmetric bugs where one hand is much better than the other ones, and uh, God, Papa Danger's left hand is the good one. So that's the one that has taken up by a drink. So it's actually really important to get rid of that drink because your really good bug is taken by that drink. So like we had the opportunity, as you were saying, where Ambassador was near us at painting statue or at paintings, and maybe we consider bugging, but we did not have the good bug available to us because we had that drink. And so clearing it for two reasons: one, to free up the actually good bugging hand, and then two, to be able to go outside for this contact.
God, I can't believe there was even room for the ambassador in that conversation. I guess his hitbox is normal sized, even if he's pretty big. We're going to walk in front of him here. There's a chance that we can go for a bug if he catches up to us, but we're faster than him, so we just keep getting away from him, and we're just not able to do it. He's going to go to the bookcase back here and immediately just put his book in as we're flirting with the seduction target. And the ambassador is now leaving. We do go for a purloin, though. We hit the green test on it, and Toby's just walking around the rest of the circle, offering to more people who are rejecting, including Rocker, who was a low light. Disney, not a low light, notably, is also going to reject. If the purloin comes off, we could finish our flirt and go for a bug, especially in the time that the sniper is distracted by the purloin going off. It's such a long reject chain. Even Ponytail rejects now as well. The sniper's attention is going to be so on top of this purloin if it goes off that we could maybe get away with a bug in the aftermath of it. Sorry, a low light takes it. The ambassador is walking away. Beanie picks up a highlight, but so does everyone else in the reject chain. I have no idea if we're the top suspect for this or not. No, we're not. We're apparently not at all. Wow. What a change.
This is another shot where this is actually just kind of unfortunate for Gent because when in doubt, if there is a super long reject chain, you opt for the later part of that chain, right? Because it's just less likely for the spy to have gotten to start the super long reject chain than rather than them join it. One, this is just a thing where it's like every once in a while, man, just shoot out purloins because every once in a while you'll get a great reject chain and someone will get shot. Sometimes you'll get a bad reject chain and both then maybe they didn't even notice it and you'll still have a purloin done. Tough position for gentlemen to be in there. And the only thing I would say is I think that maybe just wait just a little bit on the shot on Teal because who knows, maybe another banana bread was going to come off of there in a second or something. Kind of doubtful, but something.
Exactly. You can always wait 10 seconds after their last mission. Plus, there is a chance that Beanie would have tried to force some sort of bug on the ambassador as well, right? There were only 45 seconds left, so Beanie might have done something that made them obvious as the spy. But we'll never know because the shot was taken on Teal. And so scoreline is now 4-0 for Beanie, and we got 2 more games of gallery. It's gentlemen playing as Buns in 3, 2, 1, playing it. We're starting just outside with absolutely nothing here. It's a really crowded back of the venue with the ambassador just in immediate danger right at the start here.
Yeah, and we might just be going for this just straight up. Yes, we are. And we get okay, so that gentleman's gonna feel that was worse than it was. We were Beanie was zoomed in over a little bit towards green bookshelf, and had we not been zoomed in, the bug wasn't bad, but then the bump was, and I think that would have called attention to us. Beanie is zoomed in a little bit here. I think trying to guard the bug on the three ladies on the door side. So this is a good indication for gentlemen that they actually might have gotten away with it. But the thing is, they might be playing nervous because of that bump, and that would actually be much worse for them because I think that they're again probably good.
Yeah, like you said, it just wasn't being watched at all. You could see on the sniper cam, they were just zooming into the green bookcase. So, gentleman walking outside with the drink after getting a fingerprint. I don't know. I mean, I don't think gentleman's that scared because he did just go for the immediate fingerprint here. It's pretty good progress. Ooh, we wanted to join the double agent in convo there maybe, but she leaves and walks to the window. And now we have no idea where she's going to go next. So we're not going to waste any time there waiting for her. We're going to head right back in, try to continue our flirt. It's only at 34%. So hopefully, oh, we're not going to snuggle in right next to Duke here. We're actually getting closer to the ambassador, even though we don't need to be near him. Maybe gentleman is scared of being flirt paired, but it means that the flirt's only at 59% now. And on gallery, that can really get away from you sometimes.
And the other thing is, I think we could have been flirt paired with Alice. That's the thing, but like sometimes when you avoid your seduction target, you actually are next to somebody else. Right now, we've talked next to Alice twice. And so even if we were trying to avoid being flirt paired, we could be being flirt paired with somebody else. So we'll see how that goes. We have a really far cross conversation flirt, though. So here's the thing to be said for it. When there's a cross conversation flirt, the timer is slightly less than 45 seconds. And so we will be talking a little bit quicker than as if we were trying to flirt with Alice. We'll see how that works out. But again, honestly, it's just a matter of time for gentlemen right here. As long as we feel like we have the pace to finish, I think we're clean. Because again, I don't think we're suspected for that bug. And the fingerprint didn't look like it's being tracked too much.
Ooh, I wonder if we were waiting for the ambassador to walk away to go for that briefcase. Maybe we thought it wasn't close enough or wasn't far enough from the ambassador to pick up, but Orange Sari ends up picking it up. And so that fingerprint is now smudged. We're just going to go over to the blue bookcase to finish our flirt. It's possible that microfilm could become our fourth mission now because there's only a minute left. We need another fingerprint. The ambassador's leaving one on a statue, though. So that's honestly going to have to be what we go for. If we want to finish fingerprints, which I hope we do, because I don't think we're that big of a suspect, we're going to have to get it off of that statue. The briefcase fingerprint is just completely smudged at this point, and if you don't go for the fingerprint on the statue, I don't think you have any way to finish missions. There's two of them being left on statues now, which means the ambassador has no other destinations for the rest of the game. You just have to get it from the statue here. Gentleman's going to go for it, but then what's the fourth mission? If you swap the statue, it will be immediately visible. There's a chance the sniper has other suspects and isn't going to be watching for the swap. And yeah, we're going to go for it. We swap the statue. It is a white test zoomed in by Beanie, and Beanie's able to take the shot.
Yeah, we had some. We were really hoping that. Oh, that was a long delay on that shot. How much ping? What's the ping between these players? It's a 5-second delay. Well, that might come into play later if they have to take shots under pressure. But yeah, we really wanted to do the contact there, but unfortunately, there's an SDA in the big conversation circle. Then DA went to books, and then just did not make themselves available for that contact at the end there. So I know that gentlemen would have liked to have traded the games that they had the green time at the beginning, because again, if we had 45 extra seconds in that game, we were 100% okay. We walk away, we contact, we were going to be fine.
Yeah, the bug was clean, and I just don't think we were a huge suspect. I mean, probably Beanie was on top of the fingerprints, and that's why they had to zoom in on that statue. But if we had been able to finish with the contact, I don't know if we would have been shot in that game. So it's really unfortunate. But gentleman, as the higher seed here, is down 0-5. Beanie spying now, playing as Teal in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
I'm also curious in that game if we were going for the green at all, because sometimes you as a game finisher you actually do just want the white swap because you'll probably have a better chance of just having that getaway for 10 seconds than you do about it hanging clock. Because if we had hanging clock and a contact, because the contact was going to be available. It was just going to force OT. Whether or not that would have ended up being better. So I'm curious if gentlemen even went for the green test, or if they just went all in on the white swap. We have a contact, and it's going to be, it's fine. It will knock out 2 inspectors, though.
I mean, hey, after the last game, it feels good to just get the contact done early. For gallery, yeah, it's fine. Could have been slightly better, but it's at least the contact is done at this point. The flirt's at 51% because we hit a green flirt as well. So in terms of pacing, that's always good to see. Seduction target, unfortunately, is gone all the way outside now. So it takes so long to get outside. It'll be like another 20 seconds before we get there, if we even want to join him. But it doesn't look like we want to. We're just waiting here, waiting to see if the ambassador comes by us. I don't think you can go for a bug from this position. We are all the way at the back of the conversation, so the ambassador could walk by us. But when we see he goes the other way, we decide that we've spent enough time waiting here, and we're just going to go not outside. We're not going to flirt. We're just going to go pick up some inspects here.
Yeah, we have the option to maybe pick up this briefcase after Ambassador leaves. Ambassador keeps being in these interesting spots in here. So Ambassador is going to be far away, and yes, we will indeed do that. Because I think when we were waiting to see where Ambassador was going, partially it was to see if we could get a reverse bug, but partially we were expecting them to maybe put down the briefcase at blue painting and then grab that briefcase. And then when they didn't, we were like, okay, well, I'm going to go kill time near them anyways, and then I could be kind of make it look at least like I was obligated for that briefcase. It was right on the line for whether or not they were actually obligated. I think when they started their path, they weren't obligated, but it is going to look like a relatively nonchalant way to pick up some progress on fingerprints. And so far, fingerprints and inspects have been a major part of these games, especially fingerprints. So I'm curious if gentlemen will be able to adapt to that.
Yeah, I think gentlemen should be able to be on top of this. We're finally getting another flirt now, so it's at 85%. That's a problem because if Duke leaves, it might be really hard to chase him for the last 15%. The problem with our game is that it's just all very straightforward. We've got partial inspects, we got fingerprint off of a briefcase. It was all very obvious, all right in front of the sniper's eyes. I don't think that we're a huge suspect right now because we only have partial progress on everything, but assuming gentleman has even a completely standard average hold over this party, he should be able to have our mission count if we go to statues or if we get another fingerprint. And so it might just end up being an easy shot for him to take, unless Beanie manages to actually find a bug or hit, a green purloin or something. I think it'll just be a super straightforward spy game and potentially a straightforward sniper shot.
Yeah, because each of those, each of the 4 Softel missions, so to speak, have interesting inflections. By the way, we are going to finish a second inspect, but not hit the inspect. Okay, so we are going for a swap here. So we are switching it up per what you were talking about earlier. So we might be going statue to statue is the play, or are we going to go finish the fingerprint? Looks like fingerprint. Oh, but that would be jammed in there. Let's see, what's the timing on this? We have to wait. Oh, that's actually really well timed. We are going to hit there right as we actually even started earlier. And so it is going to have a hanging clock just barely. Gent does not need to shoot, so he's just hovering over. And so there's this funny thing where I'm curious if a shot's going to come off just because. Yeah, so you might be wondering, why didn't gentlemen wait for beeps? And the reason was, even regardless of the swap, on the hanging, gentlemen knew that the fingerprint on its own was going to put them just at overtime. They saw that there was a bit of a delay on the other shot, so they were going to shoot exactly. Well, actually, that would have been exactly at 0, and the shot would have registered at 2 seconds. It would have been too late for sync if it was a civ shot, if there wasn't mission completion, and it would have been a shot if there was. Well done by gentlemen there to min-max, but was going to have that game the entire time.
Yeah, Beanie just had a pretty easy 2-track spy game, and then at the end, he just didn't think he'd be able to finish with all the soft tells, and his path to the statue and then shoving himself into the bookcase was just really obvious. So, gentleman picks up the first point. He really needed that to stay in. And again, you're not seeing it on the scoreline so far, but these players have generally been completely evenly matched with each other in all scenarios in the past. So maybe gentleman's having an off day, or maybe it'll just swing back and gentleman might actually be able to pick up a few games now. We'll have to see. Gentleman playing as Ponytail on Modern now in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, and I definitely think that Beanie's decisions have put pressure on Gentleman in a way that have been tough for him to. Okay, we're gonna do a delegate walk away on this one, so we are gonna be trying to fire back here just a little bit. We are gonna be known as a potential purloiner, so we are highlight as a potential purloiner. We do delegate here, and we'll see what happens with that. It's gonna be a low light. And it is nice and early, though. This is going to be actually really interesting purloin because it's going to be so long until the purloin happens. Are we even going to try to bug inside of that? That wouldn't have actually been the worst idea. It might have worked, but we are just going for the flirt instead. Lots of
Yeah, and
action.
it's not just a low light, it's the double agent that we sent it off to, the known double agent. So Gentleman knew exactly who he was sending it off to. I think he's playing mind games here. He's going to go back to the bar. So General should be the next one in line here. I think there's still enough time, but there was a really long lineup at the bar, and we're leaving before the list gets taken again. General takes it, and so since he's the double agent, is there a chance that the sniper wasn't looking because you don't expect the spy to have delegated to a double agent? No, because they might have delegated to a suspected double agent. So Beanie was definitely on top of it, low lighting every single person at this party who wasn't at the bar. And my God, we're going to statues right as he does that, which is just sort of confirming, like, hey, of all the people at the bar, here's one who's going and doing more missions right now. So I feel like we're just putting ourselves at the forefront of Beanie's attention.
Yeah, this is interesting to see if what Beanie's take is on all of the people that were at bar. Whether or not it's a binary. Okay, we're gonna fake here. This is gonna be a big moment. Okay, so knocks out a couple. And unfortunately for us, we are the only conversation with a DA. We really needed a DA in the conversation with Irish and Disney, or some of the highlights to be in the conversation with real double agent. So we, I guess I don't know if we were actually tracking too much. I think we just kind of threw that banana bread out there because one of the benefits is whoever delegated double agent knew it. Obviously, and delegated to the double agent, knowing that there would be like this opportunity to maybe like fake later. So I'm curious, just behaviorally, what Beanie's take is on these suspects. Of course, Jackson and Pony are gonna be top of the list right now. Here comes the second BB, right as Pencil joins though, so there's a possibility there. But it looks like Beanie is gonna find the correct shot. Not even gonna wait for something else like an inspect or fingerprint.
Yeah, I have to admit, I don't know quite what Gentleman was going for in this game. I think we were just trying to act really AI-like by going back to the bar as the purloin was taken and then leaving again. I think when we did a contact as soon as we entered Convo, we were trying to make it look like someone was framing Ponytail, like just waiting for her to get back from statues to do a contact. But we were just so active and the party was already narrowed down to bar visitors. I don't see how anything was going to work there. So it's another point for Beanie. Beanie is up 6-1. Beanie spying now as queen in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
That also just kind of goes to show one of the tricky things with Modern is having a noisy Civ shot where that purloin worked out in that it would have worked out even better if we were not even considered as a suspect because we didn't do a drink take, but it worked out in the sense that there was like 7 really hard highlights like that we had to watch. Like Beanie was actually really concerned with a lot of highlights that really could be doing stuff. And then we went for that fake. I think the thing that really could have helped us was actually paying attention to who else was going to be the purloin pool, because we just knocked out a bunch of people with that one fake. And contacting twice in a noisy game where there's lots of people that could be in motion just didn't end up being coherent for us in that particular position. And then yeah, again this started test. One thing that could have happened though is it could have gotten a shot on Disney. Disney was another person that actually could have been active in a similar way that was being suspicious, but there was enough there, I guess, that I guess the statue progress, to your point, um, put it more on us than on Disney.
Yeah, so this has been a really active party so far. A lot of people started at statues. Irish, aka Green Dress in the front left convo here, she's already finished her statues. So we're doing a contact when she gets into conversation. It almost looks like she has a real contact, but Salmon, the SDA, is just picking up a briefcase near her convo. Still, the convos were all pretty full. It's just unfortunate that our convo was the only one with an actual double agent in it. So if gentleman's watching that and we never do another fake contact, there will only be a handful of people on the venue who have a real BB.
Yeah, and honestly, this is one where Beanie might want to not go super aggressive. I feel like the pace of these games is going to be putting pressure more on Gentleman here. Because sometimes, you don't actually have to take a shot that early on Modern. You might not feel that much pressure on Modern, especially if Ambassador isn't really dropping that many bug credits. But this party feels active enough, and that the pace of the recent games have been bold enough that I do think that in like a minute or so, a gentleman's going to be looking for like final confirmations on a couple of people.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And Beanie's just going to pick up a Purloin right now. I think, well, it also comes with a fingerprint here. I think this is a good choice. I think at this point, Gentleman's focus probably wasn't on whoever was going to the bar. No, Gentleman has a suspect and is shooting this twin. Maybe doesn't remember where that book came from because of all the early activity in the game. But Beanie, without having to do anything, picks up another win as the twin takes a bullet.
This is really minor, but that's another super long delay between took shot and when the shot actually registered. And it does make sense because I'm just also right. It's Germany. Germany to New Zealand might be like, or is it New Zealand or Australia? That flag. I'm terrible with flags. Anyways, it's like about as far as New Zealand. New Zealand. It's like as far as you can be on other sides of the globe. So the ping here is pretty intense. So there's also some shots coming off in that sense early. Yeah, honestly, this is just all dropping Beanie today. This is going to be hard to mentally come back from for Gentleman.
Yeah, the other twin had been to the green bookcase, then they'd been to the blue bookcase, but the twin that got shot had only been to the red bookcase. Rough game for Gentleman, just a really active party. So Gentleman spying now, playing as Taft in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And as a reminder, this is a best of 18. So the winner is the first person to 10 points, and Beanie is getting close to it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, like, because Modern should be some of the most sniper splitting venues, and the fact that we're picking up spy wins here is just going to be especially brutal, because I think after this there's things like High Rise is coming up, Redwoods is coming up, that's going to be even tougher on the sniper. So yeah, we gotta play a spy game as Modern and then start coming back. The upside though is Redwoods and High Rise can be swingy. So if you had to pick maps to be remaining in the pool and you're down a lot, those are the kinds of maps you would want to be in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just rare to see Gentleman in this position at all. We've just seen him win basically every set throughout the whole season, and just won decisively last week as well. So I don't know. It's not a position that he's necessarily used to being in a competitive match. So it looks like we're just going to the bar here. We're going to be picking up a deli. No, we're immediately purloining the list. So presumably we're trying to frame someone.
We come from Teal, maybe? I'm trying to remember where we were at. And honestly, this is yeah, I think it is Teal, because we were that white test was at first looking bad, but the timing until the white test came off was actually pretty early. I think we might be trying to frame Teal here.
No, so we're actually trying to frame Smallman. Smallman is who was in conversation with us. He just entered, and then we left as soon as he came in. So we're trying to frame Smallman for this. It might work. Here's the thing about frames, is that it is entirely possible that the sniper might think that Smallman is the most likely spy right now, but Smallman would then need to do a few more missions. Now, luckily, he is in here with us, so both us and Smallman are getting the contact, but we're the one who just entered the conversation and is, of course, talking during it. So if Smallman, goes and finishes inspects, sure, he could get shot, but it's not likely to happen, and it's going to be really hard for us to get 2 more missions done. That's just the difficulty with trying to frame someone so early into a modern game.
Absolutely, no, 100%. And so Smallman is on the move again, though, but unfortunately, it looks like Smallman's going to bar, which is not really going to be that helpful. Except for maybe it looks like Smallman might look like they're flirting with us,
Yeah.
which is interesting because it's more likely that you just tend to send to your seduction targets because you're standing next to them anyways. So if Smallman joins us again, they still need 1 more mission for there to be 3, but Smallman could look like they're done with flirt right now. But unfortunately, they have this drink in their hand, and it's just going to make it really tricky for Smallman to pick up a 4th mission here. So I am curious. Smallman has to go near an ambassador, is basically the answer here. Smallman goes near an ambassador where there's enough cover that you're worried about it. Smallman could get shot.
Yeah, we really needed a green flirt with Pearls there because we're one of only a few suspects. It's very easy for Beanie to notice that when we went back to the bar that Pearls was next to us. Maybe Beanie didn't notice that, so if we finished it in just 2 flirts, we could have gotten away with flirting. But the fact that we entered next to Pearls here, we hit a white test on the flirt, we're going to have to go back to her again. It makes it very, very hard for us to get missions done. Smallman is moving around. He's doing a briefcase return. I don't know if it still has a print on it. Oh, is he coming to us? He's flirting with us. Smallman is flirting with us. Okay, he needs to talk. He needs to talk right now and then get a bullet in his head for it, but he's not talking. He's not talking. Again, it could look like the spy is just waiting. They don't want to wait. If he talks at 10 seconds left, why are we leaving? Why are we not giving him the chance to talk to us? We're going to try to get our own flirt done here, but you can't even finish missions in this way. Seduction canceled. You realize you don't have time. You're going to the window now. We could have just waited for Smallman to talk to us.
Yeah, that is really unfortunate. Because I agree, like, we were still going to be flipping a coin on that, but that was our best chance. Absolutely, 100% was Smallman talking to us one more time there. Or leaving earlier than what we did and trying for something else, like bugging on the way, because, as you said, it going to the bar was pointless. But I think we were just rattled, right? Just things haven't been going our way. We're not thinking clearly about what the end game scenario is for us.
Yeah, Smallman started talking at like 8 seconds left. And like, if you think there's any chance that that's his last mission, then like you might shoot, right? You have 10 seconds to shoot, but if you're worried about your ping, maybe you shoot before 0 instead of waiting for overtime beeps. Like, there's a chance. I don't think the shot would have been taken, but I don't know. There's a chance. We'll never know. But yeah, gentleman maybe was just panicking there, just not used to playing from behind like this. And he falls behind even further. Beanie 8-1. Beanie just needs 2 more points to close out the set. Beanie spying as Kane in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
Yeah, so we have these last 2 modern games, which could be the end here, especially if Beanie picks up this spy win. I'm very curious what kind of aggression we're going to see in here, because at this point, when you're playing up this much, especially on these venues where you have to be aggressive anyway, it gives you so much more latitude to either be creative or just to try gambits. Like we could try a hard frame on this game where we just frame someone and just do literally nothing, kind of similar to that last game. We almost read here, we stop, and then we immediately talk. Interesting little behavioral play. I'm curious if gentleman does anything with it, but probably not, because there's so much else to watch.
Yeah, 2 green tests on the flirt, but it's only at 97% because she's not right next to us. But we do have the book in our hand. We probably don't want to return it where it came from. We're going for a contact. The other conversations are kind of sparse. But I guess they look more sparse than they are. There aren't too many lowlights at the venue, but our conversation is definitely the fullest one, or was the fullest one, with a double agent in it. So I don't know if gentlemen will be looking at that.
Yeah, and I'm curious. So if I'm, well, I guess I shouldn't. Well, it's been a while before I'll play competitive again. If I'm behind, I become more hesitant to shoot. If gentleman's behind, it seems like they shoot more easily because they're trying to catch up. And so if we're just doing this kind of thing, we're throwing up banana breads, they're kind of scattered, there's a lot of different people in there. And then honestly, something could just happen, where let's say if Twin, who's that? That's Bling Twin. Bling Twin goes to another set of statues. Maybe that gets a shot. Bling Twin, to be fair though, is the only highlight. So it doesn't seem like there's a ton of people that gentleman is currently worried about.
Yeah, it just doesn't look like there's too much going on at the party. It's just a lot of people in conversation right now. So Beanie didn't feel confident about moving the book to another bookcase. I think that's probably a good call, honestly. Oh, shot comes off on Rocker. Wow, like you said, gentlemen, maybe being a little bit more risky with their shots here. I mean, if you're behind by this much and your sniper games haven't been working, you don't necessarily trust yourself. And so maybe you think, well, I have to maybe take more risks because I seem to be missing things today.
Yep, uncharacteristic shot, but that's just at this point tilt. That's Gent doesn't take those kinds of shots, but just kind of wants out of this set, and I completely get it. SpyParty is a very, very stressful competitive game, and then we're gonna go into Taeyen, and then I'm actually curious what a desperate gentleman plays like on Taeyen. So we'll see what they play.
Yeah, this is match point for Beanie. Just needs to get one more win. So, gentlemen, as Ponytail in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And Beanie just needs to hold down the sniper here to get the win. Gentleman is starting right next to the ambassador, but we are at the front of the venue. And so there's actually not that much cover. So it's one of the rare moments on TM where you actually cannot take a bug. It is not a free bug at all. It would have gotten us shot.
Yes, that is telling at least that we're not just going to be like brain dead right clicking at the very beginning for no reason, because that, like, if you're just like want the game to be done, sometimes you could just do that. You're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna get a bug, I'm gonna go center statue, maybe even swap and then go contact and then just see what happens, right? Just get this over with, like, end my pain. But the fact we are actually playing this out, which is great to see.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not getting much done. We do have the double agent here with us, so we might as well just kind of wait, see if the conversations fill up, and then maybe take a contact. But the double agent leaves and he gets replaced by the suspected double agent. So he's never going to be coming back here as long as Kane is with us. Now, the position that we're in is not bad for bugging now that there is more cover. So when the ambassador leaves the bookcase, he might walk behind us and we might be able to go for a bug. We had a drink in our left hand, so we couldn't do it as he walked to the bookcase. But as he walks away from it, there is a chance. We're flirting and we're going to immediately... Are we going to stop talking? No. So we were in the middle of talking. We couldn't go for a bug as he walked behind us.
And the arm would have been out, depending on Beanie. Like, if Beanie's setup was where he is right now, that arm probably doesn't stick out very much, but Beanie was rotated over a little bit to the left, so the laser positioning might have just scared us off a little bit too. We're going to fake here, which is unfortunate because Duke's going to get knocked out. I'm pretty sure Duke has full inspects. We'll have to see how this works out. There's no highlights at all at a minute and a half, which makes me worried for gentlemen, because I don't think a shot's coming off in this party. There's just not enough party goers that have been dropping in specs or going near ambassador enough to really pick up a lot of suspicion. So we'll have to see what we can get done here. Maybe a purloin is on the horizon after this gulp.
Yeah, it's looking like there might not even be enough time to get missions done, but you can always do a bug and a purloin or something and get missions done really quickly. Going to the back of the venue here to go for a time ad. It's not a bad choice because I think we were running very, very low on time. There were a lot of people at windows at the back, so even if the sniper is on top of it, it won't necessarily narrow down to just us. Toby's offering us a drink. We have to go for a purloin. We're just trying anything because we don't have missions. It's a white. The fade is right there on screen, and Beanie is able to take the shot and close out the set.
Unfortunate end, but not a bad, like, that game was not just like a white flag game. Like, if we had hit the purloin on green, there's some real possibilities there. The time ad was necessary, like you said. There were a bunch of people there, so even though it didn't look, the end state of the game doesn't look great in that we only had a single mission done, there was some real potential in there. So that is an end to Gentleman's season. Gentleman did have a strong regular season showing. I believe Gentleman is going to be in Platinum next season if they play again.
Yeah.
So congrats to them on that. And then but their tournament run is unfortunately done.
Yeah, but like we said, it's a really uncharacteristic result for Gentleman, who had a, what is it, 79% sniper win rate during the regular season and has just been doing really well in the postseason as well. Or rather, just the one match in the postseason they played last week went great. And just a really, really good result for Beanie here. Gentleman wasn't quite on top of the sniper games, and Beanie just really capitalized on it and just had a hold on everything. So well done to Beanie. And that means Beanie is moving on to the finals, the grand finals next week. But who